2 months before the election, the Home Office spread this video of immigration officers rounding up asylum seekers. They were told they'd be on flights to Rwanda in weeks.
Immigration.
The Conservative government said it was entering the final phase of its Rwanda plan after the controversial deportation bill had finally passed. Many whose asylum claims hadn't even been heard were arrested without warning when they turned up for routine Home Office appointments, sparking protests.
Say it loud, say it clear!
But before any planes could take off for Rwanda, Rishi Sunak was out of number 10, and all those detained have since been released. Jacob, not his real name, is one of them. A Kurdish asylum seeker from Iraq, he was arrested when he signed in at a Home Office reporting centre in the north of England.
They told me to have a small interview, and I went to the room. They locked the room, and they brought me 5 guys, and I see with the black clothes, and it was very big guys, and they surrounded me. They told me you are under arrest, and they cuffed me hands, he was hurting me, and he was shouting. I remember his face when he said, "You are under arrest, mate. Don't move, don't do any stupid things."
It was 2 days before he was informed he was being sent to Rwanda. Even after his release, Jacob says his very public detention means people treat him with suspicion. Pierre Maclouf is legal director for a charity which helps migrants. He was shocked by the way the Home Office went about the Rwanda plan.
None of them had previously been issued with a notice that they would be removed to Rwanda. For them to be detained on camera in handcuffs so that use of force seemed to be implied, and to be placed into caged vans, that was quite an unusual thing to see. And these are people who were complying with reporting conditions.
At the time, the Conservative government defended the detention operation, saying highly trained specialist teams carried out enforcement at pace and in the safest way possible. But Jacob says the Rwanda plan amounted to trafficking, as he told a Home Office official.
He said, because you come to this country illegally, you passed a lot of safe country. I was under the power of smugglers. So now you want to remove me to Rwanda. What's the difference between you and smugglers?
Jacob spent a month in an immigration removal centre before he was released. A spokesperson for the new Home Secretary, IET Cooper, said Jacob's allegations were shocking and the last government left the asylum system in chaos. They said the Home Office will take the welfare of those in its care very seriously, and robust safeguarding would ensure everyone is treated with dignity and respect. The Rwanda plan has been scrapped, but the Rwanda Act and the Illegal Migration Act are still on the statute books. It's anticipated the Labour government will at some point repeal those laws, so asylum seekers like Jacob can have their claims heard here.
They would actually argue that this is the only approach that makes sense, because under the previous government you had so many people, perhaps as many as 90,000 people, who were in the UK who were never going to receive a decision on their asylum claim, what critics have called, and including the Labour Party, the perma backlog. The Labour government is proposing to begin clearing that backlog, which should be good in terms of making a financial saving, because it's expensive to look after people while they're living in the country, and also it will be better for the asylum seekers themselves.
But we may not get back many millions already spent on the Rwanda plan. The deal the last government signed included a fixed lump sum cost of £370 million. The UK's already paid £270 million. By scrapping the plan, the Labour government saves £100 million in fixed costs and another £120 million, which would have been due when Rwanda received 300 people, saving a total of £220 million. Some of that money will now be spent on a new border security command. The Home Secretary says the command will be intelligence-led and tackle the root of the illegal migration problem. There'll be new cross-border police and new counter-terror powers to go after the smugglers. Smashing the gangs won't be easy, just ask previous governments. But the Union for Borders and Immigration Staff says what's really needed isn't police officers, but asylum appeals officers.
No amount of putting up big barriers, no amount of arming the French police on the beaches, no amount of chasing them down and trying to deflate their dinghies, none of that actually stops it. The more pressing need is actually for asylum caseworkers. To break the model, you need to make it not worth living here, not worth being here. You're not going to be here long enough to make that worthwhile. And in order to do that, what we actually need is asylum caseworkers, immigration judges, and court space.
This was Dover today. More migrants being brought ashore. There have been 14,000 arrivals by small boat already this year. They'll likely join the 118,000 migrants waiting for asylum decisions. The new government's going to hear more people's claims, so it should make progress on the backlog. Stopping people coming may be much harder.